If you're watching this, welcome back to the channel and thanks for tuning in on another video. So on this episode, we are going to attempt to get our first startup. Got a couple things I got to knock out on the list first before we get to that point. I went ahead and ordered a passenger side axle, which as you can tell, it's already out of the box, and I do got it installed. So the passenger side axle is in, suspension stuff is back together. Everything rotates as it should. And I am currently working on the driver's side right now, getting ready to take everything apart, slap this guy in there, and get the car back down on the ground. And then from there forward, we will be putting in, I got some 75 140 gear oil. This is Royal Purple synthetic oil. The bottle speaks for itself. Should be pretty good stuff. So I got 2 quarts of that right here. We'll get that put into the transmission. And then I got just some cheap 10W30 STP. This is just break-in oil, because I'll be running the car probably about 200 miles or so, get it all broke in, get everything lubricated, and then doing an oil change and get it ready for the dyno. So, first few things I got on the list, I got axles to put in, which I'm getting that knocked out now. Gear oil, put in the break-in oil. I was going to try to figure out how to go about wiring up our max solenoid. We got a 4-port max boost solenoid. I was going to find out where to tap in for my 12-volt supply, which you don't want to do an accessory supply, because you could damage the board on the ECU. So you want something that'll pretty much kick on by like a switch or something like that, like an ignition. I was going to try to figure that out, but I don't have to have that hooked up to get the car started, so it probably won't be making any boost. But everything is hooked up. I got clamps on now. I done all that off camera the other day. Got everything as far as vacuum wise, everything is plumbed, all the way up to the solenoid, to the turbo. Everything is all ran, and then got the top and the bottom of the wastegate set up. Got the fire ring in the wastegate, and let me tell you, that was an absolute mess. That thing actually attacked me. I could not get the piston side of it to compress when I was pushing the wastegate up onto the flange on the manifold itself. I could not get it to move at all. I was thinking maybe I had a bad gate. I don't know. So I started taking the top hat apart, and I got attacked. So I had this spring and another spring a little bit shorter than this one, and it was sitting inside of here, and everything just flew out. The top hat hit me in my wrist on my left arm, and the spring shot out. It hit me in my forearm on my right arm because I was hovered over top of the gate. And come to find out, it had 31 pound total inside that gate. So I am glad I took that apart. The 20 is sitting over there, and we got the 11 pound spring in it right now. I will be taking the 20 with me to dyno, just in case we want to swap that out and put the 20 pound spring in and have that set up for gate pressure. But enough talking. I'm gonna go ahead and get all this knocked out. Just figured I'd go ahead and give y'all a brief update of exactly what all I got going on and what all I have done off camera since I have picked it up till now. Another thing I ran an issue on is our map sensor. There's no place on the intake or the throttle body for me to set this guy up. So I ended up doing a barb fitting right here, ran the hose off, and pretty much just done it like that. Yeah, it's not the best looking thing in the world, but it's not going nowhere. We'll get some readings straight off the intake, and that'll work. And we got our Mustang 5.0 domestic style TPS converted over to our RSX plug. So we got that straight away thanks to Tri-State Motorsports. Got that sent out pretty quick, and I've had that installed. So the only thing I need as far as clamps is these two smaller clamps right here, and then everything else should be squared away. And then we just work on cooling system, getting a radiator and some hoses, and that should be all the big stuff. But so yeah, there's a quick little brief update on everything. I also moved the fuel pressure regulator over here instead of right here, because I have heard people say that the little connector right there to allow this to run straight off the rail, it does come loose sometimes, and they have a fuel leak and cause a fire and stuff like that. I don't want that to happen, so I went ahead and moved it over here for that reason. And two, it was hitting the top of my hood right here with the adjuster for your fuel pressure. It was hitting the top of the hood, so I went ahead and got all that moved. But we're already 6 minutes into this video, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I don't want to make it too crazy long. Just want to knock this stuff out real quick and move on to the next step. All right, so fast forward. I got the axles in, car's back down on the ground, gear oil is in, which is empty now. Got the oil in, checked it, it's full. I'm getting ready to rewire this wire that goes to my starter signal wire. Where's it? Right here. So this goes to the starter, the signal wire, and this branches off to my switch panel. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that rewired, and I'm probably gonna do like a quick connects like this, because I will have to cut that wire every time I pull the swap out, if I ever do, because it is tied in with that wire. That's pretty much how I set that up. So I got to go get some quick connect fittings, at least the male side. I got the females here. Gotta go get some E85, and then what else was that? Oh, I got to get a couple of these guys right here, these big battery terminal butt fittings. Got to get those because I got one of the smaller ones, but I gotta get two new ones. That way I can use this over here, that huge cable, to remake my ground, because this is where it was in a shorter spot when it used to be back here in the back corner. Now the fuel cell's back here, and I'm moving the battery up front, or where the back seat should be. Battery is on charge, so we're pretty much wrapping everything up. We're getting close. All right, so now we're off to go get those parts and go get some E85. You want to carry this?
You need to fill that up to your top.
Yep. I'm gonna put it in the trunk. Set it back there.
Ease and confidence to buy the home that's right for you. Rocket can. Visit rocketmortgage.com.
Smell it? Smells good, don't it?
Accident ready for a day of fun. Here's what we're looking forward to today. Local announcements will soon be able to see how packed the trains are. That way they can avoid large crowds on their commutes. The feature is expanding to 10,000 cities across 11 countries.
I'm gonna put that up for mama. There you go. Something else other than me between your legs. Alright. So, quick update. We got the car backed out. I was in the process of getting ready to get it started, or attempt to start it. I had my fiance come out here and pretty much just eyeball all my fittings at the fuel cell and around the fuel pumps, and to see if I had any leaks. And then I turned the pumps off real fast, went up front to check if there was any leaks up there. Of course, being all new fuel lines and stuff like that, routed different than last time, I only had 2 small leaks. Actually, one was a decent leak, and this other one is a fairly small leak, and I will point that out to y'all right now. So you'll see right here on this fitting, you might see it drop. There it is right there. It's leaking right there. And then the bigger one is coming from this guy right there. So I gotta get this one pulled off, check the O-ring in there. As you can see, there's fuel all over me now. Gotta check the O-ring, make sure it didn't get ripped. I'd say it probably did when that got tightened back up. That's my only 2 issues I got right now. And other than this kid, what?
Tomato.
You on the spotlight now. I don't care about them slugs.
But I hit that.
Alright, well, you do that. But just gotta fix them 2 small fuel leaks. And got the laptop hooked up right now to the ECU, and I had got my K-Pro registered and everything, got all that set up. Now I'm currently working on trying to set up a base map. I tried clicking on a couple of the maps that were on K-Pro that come with it, and I think the highest one that I found was stock K20A2, and it had 650cc injectors, and we're on 2200s. So now that I got it registered, I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to go in and set everything up myself as far as the map sensor, injectors, and all that good stuff. But I'm probably gonna mess with that now since it's dark, get the car pushed back in, get the kids upstairs and everything, mess with all that, and then hopefully shoot for the first startup tomorrow, which it is Monday, or tomorrow is Monday. So I got, with me going to bed at a normal time for like a day shift schedule, I get up early on Monday, so I got all day Monday until 5 to mess with it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow we can get at least a first startup with an idle and call that a successful first start. But we'll see how that goes. Everything else is actually looking pretty good. I mean, I got the car cranking over even without setting up the base map and everything. I just want to make sure it was going to sound normal cranking, and it did. The reason why I went ahead and tried cranking it just for a split second because I thought there was something actually wrong, like wiring wise, at my switch panel. Because I tried turning like my headlights on, and nothing came on. Like the power would just shut off, and I done thought I had like a wiring issue, and I started scratching my head, and I was like, "There's no way," because I didn't really tear into any of the wiring. I just changed up like mechanical stuff. And come to find out, the battery, where it's been sitting for a very, very long time, it actually came off of an old car that I did have about 3 years ago. So the battery has just set. So it could probably either get put on a slow charge and be good, or probably just invest in a new battery. But I put a battery charger on it, and then it actually cranks. So I was like, all right, well, it's just a battery. So, enough talking. I'm going to go ahead and get this car pushed in here, mess with this base map setup and stuff a little bit more, and then we will see you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, so here's a quick update. All the fluids and everything are in the car. We got some fresh E85 in, and I proceeded to upload my base map, which I got everything here. Here's pretty much my fuel table right now, which I added like, I think it was like 35% on top of the stock base map. So we got all of our sensors and everything set up here. Got literally my base map, which you can see is set up. I went ahead and saved it after I had created it. That way it doesn't get lost for any reason. So I went to upload the base map, and here's where we had an issue. So this ECU that I got is a PRB K-Pro V4, brand new. Paid $1,100 for it, brand new. Went ahead and registered it, got everything set up. As you see in the bottom corner down here, driver installed online, but we have an ignition off, and I have no lightning bolt, which, yes, of course, right now the ECU is unplugged on this part, and you can see the test light out, which is not a good sign by any means. Now, if I flip that guy up, ignition is still off. I went and updated the USB driver, and I get this: error updating USB driver. I was like, alright. So I swapped USB ports, and I ain't gonna say any names right now because I do not want to give it away. But I've been talking to a new friend of mine, thanks to a current friend, 4-wheel drive Hulk on Instagram. I'll put his Instagram right here on the screen. I contact him. He's got pretty much the similar setup to mine, as far as the build itself, but he's in a CRX chassis. So I had contacted him about a couple questions regarding to the original setup, with dual point to multi-point conversion and all that, and come to find out the conversion harness does take care of all that. So that wasn't my issue. That was my first thought, because I did pull the dual point motor out of this, but I did not do the pin out swap on the underdash harness, the factory one. So I contacted him about that, and that's not my issue. I can't trace it down. I'm not exactly sure what is going on, but it is involved with the wiring. I'm wanting to say it is the jumper harness, which is from K-Tuned. I did have to, thanks to my new friend, that I have made friends with. Like I said, I'm not going to mention his name because there is a surprise that's attached with that name. So I will keep that on the hush until that gets here. But as you can see, this long blue wire that I had just found laying around is spliced into this guy right here. Well, this actually goes to the ECU, and I was not getting no power to that at the conversion plug. Actually, yeah, that's it. And so what had happened was I took this power source right here, and he told me to splice into this just for temporary, put some tape on it, twisted the wires, spliced into it, and looped it over to this guy right here to give me power. Put the test light on it, boom, we got power. That didn't fix the issue. So started digging even more, and he pretty much told me that the engine harness is good, but sorry, I just woke up and I gotta go to work in a little while. Engine harness is good, it's gonna stay on the car, but everything else is going. Now, when I say everything, I mean literally everything. Look, all this whole clutter right here, everything's going. The fuse box is going, the underdash harness is going, the conversion harness is going, the fuse box over there is going, the wiring that goes all the way back to the tail lights, everything besides the engine harness, even my switch panel, everything, all coming out. We're going back through and we're pretty much replacing all of that stuff, and I'm sure you already know what route I'm going. I'm not going to say who, but I know it's not no sponsorship thing. Like, I'm actually paying full price as well as everything else on this car. I wasn't aiming for a partnership or a sponsorship. I don't care to pay full price. I mean, that's supporting the company in general. But yeah, I'm excited to be working with them, and I just got to get my stuff figured out and get everything ordered, and then you will see exactly who we decided to work with, and I'm super stoked. Like, it's going to take care of all the issues, and probably should have just done this in the first place, but it is what it is. I've even swapped out my grounds and everything, and still getting no ignition on, even with the ignition on, and that's an issue to me. So first startup attempt on this setup is a fail. We did not succeed whatsoever. But we will be coming back, and we ain't giving up. Like I said, we're going to get all of this wiring and stuff pulled out, and pretty much get everything set up exactly how it should be. And yeah, it should be ready to come back for round 2, and it should fire up after we get all that taken care of. So unfortunately, I'm going to end this video here and get it out. It sucks that we didn't get to this point, but not everything is rainbows and unicorns. Yeah, sometimes you just get caught in the rain, but after all this, I mean, I'm not really frustrated. I'm not upset or anything. I mean, it happens. Not everything gets put together like this and expected to just start up right off the bat. I mean, you're going to have small things here and there, but if that's literally all I got to worry about right now, then I'm perfectly fine, because I mean, there's a solution to everything, and I've already figured out my solution, so I ain't even upset. But hopefully I didn't disappoint you guys. I tried my best to get this first startup going, and just be able to hear the car run. And that's that's pretty much just it. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Stay tuned for part 2. We will get this thing taken care of, and it will be running and moving under its own power. And be looking forward to the dyno session and everything else. So yeah, that's gonna be it. We'll see y'all in the next video. I'm out. Peace.